How are Lucas and Veronica coping with a pregnancy in 10,000 BC?
Uh,
You go. Big Papa.
uh, Big Papa. I wouldn't say fantastically. I wouldn't say they're coping perfectly. I mean, the environment isn't the most conducive to raising a child. I think it's exposing a lot of their insecurities, a lot of their fears, and putting a lot of their past trauma kind of on display because neither of them had good parental role models in their lives. So the fear for Lucas, at least, of raising a child and screwing his child up like he was by his parents is a very real thing, and is requiring a lot of work for him to do on himself, a lot of confrontational work. He's trying to become a leader as well as a father in the community, and he's going to stuff that up every now and again and make bad decisions as he's in that teething process of becoming a new man. So it's a very painful and complicated journey that they're embarking on and requires a lot of trust in one another, which is tough because they've only really known each other a short while. We forget that the whole season 1 and 2 has only taken place over a few weeks, I think, or yeah, and so they haven't known each other for very long. So it requires a lot of trust. Yeah, Lily.
Yeah, I think it's an absolutely terrifying prospect to have a child at that age, let alone in 10,000 BC. Um, but I was surprised by the way Veronica sort of takes it in stride. I think she steps up in a really awesome way for herself, for Lucas, and for the baby because they can agree that they both want better for their child than they had for themselves. So it's cool to see them unite or where they disagree, but what's known is that they're in it together, and how they struggle or succeed in that way is a pleasure to play and read and watch, hopefully.
Rohan, I feel like Scott is in a completely different place than he was when we first met him. Where do we pick up with him mentally, emotionally, physically here in this final season?
Oh yeah. Where we start off, he's with Petra. He's really kind of cracked to the surface and they're starting to make jokes together. She's become a lot more confident, speaking to the characters from the clearing. And he's in a warm place. He's grown a lot in the first 2 seasons, and what happens with the dinosaurs right at the start of season 1 really throws everyone a curveball, and we all have to scramble to survive once again. It's he starts off in a really good place. He's been through a lot.
I'm intrigued.
Alliances are changing this season. What is everyone's new roles as you try and mediate peace?
Yeah, so we will be meeting a whole new kind of slew of characters, a new tribal outfit, if you will, and it's going to require a lot of collaboration. Um, Lucas is trying to establish himself as more of a leader, and in doing so is learning how to communicate with people who he doesn't necessarily agree with how they going about doing things. And there's also the added pressure of having a child on the way. So he really rises up into a leadership role, and has to learn how to communicate with a tribe that is based in 10,000 BC. And there's also a lot of conflict within his relationship with Veronica as well that is established by how they network with this new tribe.
Yeah, and I think Veronica's learning how to be a good partner to somebody who's in a leadership position and has all of this respect without feeling like she's had much herself. But then finding herself more as a potential bridge between the two cultures, and how she can understand two sides and sort of help with communication and effective leadership in that way.
Mm.
Interesting. Anything to add?
In terms of my character with the alliances, I think all the characters from the clearing are really supportive of Lucas with the leadership position, and we're here to help however we can. If that means greasing the wheels and talking to a couple of people and getting some more people on his side, we're all on the same page about that.
Okay, thank
Overall,
you.
in this season, I think Scott has a lot to play with the politics of the characters' interactions with the other groups, very much. But we're all Team Lucas.
Definitely Team Lucas.
Well done, honey.
Well, Lily, with the baby on the way, how's your character going to navigate the stress, the high intensity, the animals, the creatures that find their way into their encampment all the time?
Yeah, it's actually hysterical to me that somehow the stakes could get higher, because you watch La Brea, you're like, everything is happening and everything's going wrong, and then you add dinosaurs and a pregnancy, so it gets more intense. I was really surprised by how Veronica seems to adapt to this pregnancy. Obviously, she's terrified, and obviously loving anyone, let alone a little human that you're responsible for, is scary when you're in a world where you can never know what's going to happen. But I think ultimately she's really proud to be in this position where she, for the first time, has a family and has love. And she is willing to fight to the death for that. So I think there's twinkles of her past self that can come out, in the sense that when she's going to protect something, she's going to protect it to the death.
Mama bear on the prowl, right?
Yeah,
Oh
gotta
yeah.
gotta be aware. There's dinosaurs out there.
If anything can combat them, it's you, Lily.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.